time I gotta eat healthy, I gotta run, I gotta not have sex with my man for 6 weeks, I gotta do all this stuff.
So every time she be like, Pap upstairs, I'm like, but do we wanna be? Somebody gotta go do a welfare check on that man. I think she...
What ways has Papoose brought you peace?
It's like he has some experience over me as far as in like how long he's been here.
Claressa Shields is now being accused of bringing other men into her and Papoose's private space and allegedly making him watch. It sounds extreme, but this is gaining attention largely because of the way she has recently been speaking about their relationship online. And to be honest, when you start putting all the pieces together, the old drama, how their relationship began, her public behavior, and his reactions, it's giving people a narrative they're no longer brushing off. At this point, it's not just about them being a couple. It's about the dynamic between them and whether Papoose is being put in uncomfortable situations in real time while still trying to present everything as normal on the outside. Let's go back for a moment because this didn't start overnight. This relationship has been complicated from the beginning, and many people point back to December 2024 when Remy Ma exposed those alleged texts. According to Remy, Papoose was still living under the same roof with her when Claressa was already texting him, checking on him, asking if he got home safely, and generally being very familiar for someone who wasn't officially supposed to be in that space yet. What really caught people's attention, though, was Remy's allegation that Papoose had supposedly fallen asleep on the phone with Claressa's while still in the house he shared with his wife. She claimed that when she picked up the phone and spoke, Claressa immediately ended the call. That single moment was enough to make many believe that something had already been going on behind the scenes, long before any of it was brought into the public eye. But things get even more complicated when you bring her ex, Tony Rich, into the picture. This is the part that made a lot of people start viewing her differently, because Claressa has always presented that relationship as being fully over before anything serious began with Papoose. However, Tony Rich's family has allegedly pushed back on that version of events. They claim there was some overlap, suggesting the timeline was not as clean as it was later portrayed, and that certain details may have been adjusted to protect her public image.
In charge if he deceased.
And he's dead, right.
Slow motion. See what I'm saying? Y'all are some slow motion on the spectrum type females. Like, go on somewhere. What are you talking about?
And when people went back through her posts, they noticed she was still training with Tony and sharing clips of them working together on pads well into 2024, even though she had also stated she was already single during that same period.
I just don't lift as heavy as him. So once again, ladies, I'm going to use the weight that works for me. He does like a lot of bodybuilding.
So now people are questioning it, wondering whether she was truly single at the time or already involved in something else on the side. And when you fast forward to more recent events, things don't calm down. They actually get even messier. Once 50 Cent stepped in and began sharing screenshots, implying that Claressa may have been speaking to another man while publicly linked to Papoose, the whole discussion shifted again. Suddenly, it wasn't just old history being debated. It started feeling like an ongoing situation playing out in real time.
That's 50. Why we here acting like 50 need a reason to mess with somebody?
Right. Because usually there's a reason. There's something that happens.
He gonna troll you tomorrow.
And once he got involved, the noise around the situation only grew louder. People weren't just revisiting how everything started anymore. They were focused on what might be unfolding in the present and trying to piece it together in real time. Claressa's reaction didn't really settle things down either. Instead of ignoring it or keeping it private, she went in the opposite direction and began sharing very personal details about her relationship with Papoose. It seemed like an attempt to show how loyal she is and how strong their bond is. But the more she revealed, the more uneasy people became watching it play out.
Oh, I'm never gonna stop talking about my man. I just brought him his food in the back.
because he was upstairs. Ain't that y'all joke? Oh, he's upstairs. Just brought him his food. And y'all talking shit, but guess what? Ain't nobody gonna ever make me stop talking about my man.
And that's where the narrative about her being the dominant force in the relationship really started to pick up. People began linking her recent behavior, the ongoing rumors, and the way Papoose has been presenting himself publicly. The way it's being framed now is that Claressa is the one steering things, while Papoose is simply going along with it, even in moments where some feel he should be more vocal or set clearer boundaries. And that's exactly why this whole situation feels so off to a lot of people. This is the same Papoose who was widely praised for his loyalty to Remy Ma, standing by her through everything and earning respect for how solid he appeared over the years. So now, seeing him in a situation where people feel he's being disrespected or just going along with things is what's really throwing the public off. On top of that, Claressa's past behavior doesn't really help ease those concerns. For instance, people still bring up the time she reportedly called into a YouTube boxing show pretending to be a random fan just to defend herself, only for listeners to quickly recognize her voice. The way that moment unfolded left a lot of people questioning why she felt the need to handle things that way in the first place.
If you're listening to this live and I see so much misinformation, I'm lying, saying that this woman owes tax money. Why are y'all lying saying that her image is ruined?
On top of that, she has also dealt with very public family disputes, including calling out her sister and claiming her success led to jealousy and strain within the family. When people look at that too, it starts to create a pattern in their minds where conflict seems to follow her in different areas of life. It eventually makes some wonder how even close personal relationships keep ending up in controversy or tension.
I get emotional, you know what I'm saying? But me and my sister got the same mama and same daddy, and we grew up together. And, you know, she just, you work so hard to make all this money and to have a good life for yourself, and then the people who you want to share it with, they just change on you.
Then there were the comments she made about supposedly turning down NBA, NFL, and MLB players in order to be with Papoose. That sparked a whole new wave of discussion because people quickly pointed out the contrast. She was describing rejecting men closer to her own age, only to end up with someone significantly older than her by about 17 years. And all of this is unfolding while Papoose is still in the process of finalizing his divorce from Remy Ma, which makes the timing feel even more complicated. It gives the impression that one chapter hadn't fully closed before another one started getting messy. At the same time, Claressa has been very open about her feelings for him and hasn't really hidden it. She even released the song Faithful for his birthday, focusing on loyalty and how strongly she supports him. In interviews, she keeps referring to him as husband material, as if she's already seeing a long-term future with him. She even took things a step further by getting his name tattooed. And the two of them have openly spoken about their desire to build a family together. From an outside perspective, it creates the impression that she is completely committed and genuinely serious about the direction this relationship is taking. Now, the latest narrative making rounds, claiming that she allegedly brings other men into their shared space while he is present and doesn't respond, is what's really intensifying the situation for many viewers. Even though that specific accusation hasn't been confirmed, it's gaining traction quickly because people don't view it as coming out of nowhere. Instead, they're tying it back to everything that has already unfolded and been talked about before. And once people already start doubting how the relationship works, any new information tends to get added into that same narrative without much hesitation. That's why the whole situation feels so uneasy to watch. It's like two very different versions of the same relationship are playing out at once. On one side, there's a public display of love, support, and future plans being talked about openly. On the other side, there's a growing belief that Papoose is slowly losing control of how things look publicly while trying to hold on to something that many people still can't fully understand. That's where things stand right now. None of these latest claims have been confirmed, but that hasn't done anything to slow the discussion. If anything, attention has only increased. More opinions are pouring in, and instead of calming down, the situation continues to grow more intense.